Okay, Mr. Way. So you read an article by Lindy West, which was a response to the March 2013 Men's Rights Internet Statement, which a rodent friend of mine named Cootie had some involvement in. And the point of the article was just to say that feminists care about the exact same issues that men's rights activists care about, and that they're already taking care of it, and so, therefore, we should just let them handle everything, and we should just leave everything up to feminists, basically. So, Mr. Way, you asked a question in your video, so I might as well respond to it. You said, "Do you see what I mean? The article is taking issues that affect men and then saying that it is ultimately caused by sexism against women." So, Mr. Way, I really want you to see just how easy it is to claim that any double standard can be construed as being harmful to women. You simply brainstorm all of the ways that it affects women and men, and then you select the most salient ways that it negatively impacts women, and you ignore everything else. It is possible to do this with every type of sexist double standard imaginable. It's a very cheap and easy game to play, just because you can find negatives and positives in just about everything. And then you can be selective about what you choose to talk about and what you choose to ignore. But feminists also play a language game where every negative sounding or ugly looking example of sexism is attributed to patriarchy by mere virtue of the fact that it is negative, and where every positive thing imaginable is attributed to feminism by mere virtue of the fact that it is positive. It's an unwritten law amongst feminists that whenever something is recognized as a positive thing, it must be attributed to feminism, and that negative things must always be ascribed to patriarchy. It's part of the patriarchy if it's bad. Any idiot can see through this language game. MRAs don't play any of these language games, because we are not all about manipulating people and lying to them. And that's really what separates us from feminists. You said that we need something like a men's rights movement to talk about issues that affect men, and I disagree. The men's rights movement does not focus on issues that affect men per se. Rather, it focuses on issues where men's basic human rights are being denied or threatened. Contrary to your misconception, the men's rights movement is not about benefiting men relative to women. The men's rights movement is not about men's collective interests. Burn that into your brain. The men's rights movement is not about men's collective interests. I'm sure you don't believe me quite yet, but that's okay for now. You said that you agreed with Lindy West's article, but that you just don't like the fact that it wasn't written by men. I have some trouble getting into your shallow headspace, but it does sound like, even though you like the article, you just don't like the fact that a woman wrote it. That sounds a bit like misogyny to me, so perhaps all of this misogyny that you've been projecting onto the men's rights movement is actually your own misogyny. Maybe those disgusting human beings that you associate with the men's rights movement is just your view of yourself. What do you think, Mr. Way? You also contrasted men on the one hand with feminists on the other. So this clearly implies that you're conflating women and feminists. Women are interchangeable with feminists in your mind. You also clearly implied that women get benefits from feminism. I disagree with that. If you think that feminism benefits women, then you've probably bought into the feminist ideology, hook, line, and sinker. You've also generalized about the men's rights movement, which is a movement that you have difficulty with comprehending and with finding accurate information about. You've called the movement sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, cis-sexist, heteronormative, and whatever. This tells me that you are a politically correct drone who thinks that they're fighting for social justice. And it also tells me that you are glib enough to make an accusation as general as whatever. You've just been accused of whatever. Fill in the blank. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty? I plead not guilty, but I will say that the charge is a little on the vague side, so I can't really be sure. You have also said that the men's rights movement is just as anti-feminist as pro-men. Well, given that feminism in the real world is a bunch of lies and half-truths and propaganda and ideological baggage, which is just used to justify policies that negate men's basic human rights, then obviously any men's rights movement is going to be anti-feminist. This does not imply that we are against any specific group of people, just that we are against bad ideas and toxic ideologies. Nobody is born a feminist, and nobody has any objective features which could be used to identify them as such. People simply self-identify as feminists, and the men's rights movement only indirectly opposes people who self-identify as feminists. What we oppose directly are the bad ideas and the lies that constitute what feminism is in the real world. Men's rights activists directly oppose the harm that is being done in the name of feminism. You also said that men's rights activists are afraid that something that they thought they were entitled to is going to be taken away from them. But you don't back this up with anything. My question to you is, why would you assume that? Also, you said that men's rights activists are upset that women are finally fighting back against men. First of all, that assumes that there's anything to fight over to begin with, and I disagree with that, and so would most MRAs. Men and women are not fighting over resources of any kind. There's nothing to fight over. That's what the men's rights movement is trying to get across to the general public. Another thing that you did in your video, Mr. Way, is you implied that it is hate to identify something as hate. If it is hate to identify something as hate, then that makes you a hater for saying that the men's rights movement is hate, which you actually did say. But I guess that makes me a hater for calling you a hater. So I guess we're all haters. So maybe we should talk about what hate really is and how you actually go about determining what hate is, rather than just to claim that everything is hate. At the end of your video, you mentioned that your vision of the men's rights movement would be a movement that makes the world a better place for men and for everyone. As an MRA, my vision is somewhat different. I want a world that is more honest, more transparent, more free, and more fair. A world where basic individual rights and freedoms are respected, regardless of which sex you are born into. In order to do this, we need a movement which breaks away from feminist ideology, but also addresses men's rights as well as women's rights. If you want to call it men's rights movement, or if you want to call it egalitarianism, doesn't matter to me, as long as you don't buy into the feminist ideology. That's the important thing.